Tell me what brings you out here? What brings you to Ottawa?
Well, we're protesting for the apology for Canadians and to Canadians from Justin Trudeau for calling us misogynistic and racist, amongst other things in the quotes, such as, do we tolerate these people? There's a small portion of the population, but they take up space. It's inappropriate for a leader of the country to talk to any group of citizens that feel a certain way like that, like for me to hear that, like, I was listening to everything that was going on at like 2 years ago during COVID. Like, we all were given the same information and we all interpret it differently, and we were listening to a whole bunch of different people. So, for Justin Trudeau, with no medical background, and he's taking advice of other professionals and feels a certain way to say, oh, this group of people don't believe in science, they don't believe in progress, they're racist and often misogynistic, they take up space. It's regardless of my opinion. You don't have the right to say that about the citizens that you're leading. Like, we're Canadians. We're not whatever the hell you're trying to make us to seem. And we think that a lot of that, we have many supporting quotes that instead of trying to calm stuff down, he reiterated it. Like, he's called us racist multiple times. So instead of trying to say, sorry, that was out of pocket, I shouldn't have said that, even though you have different views than me, doesn't make you racist. No, he continued to double down, and we think that's what fed a lot of the fire for the past 2 years. Like, he literally created a marginalized group for other Canadians to feel free to openly harass. And it's not right. We think a lot of Canadians deserve an apology, and we think a lot of Canadians from this so-called freedom movement might calm down once they get an apology. See, like, okay, he didn't mean that we're not people, guys. He just misspoke. It was really tense then. Everyone's tempers got a little heated. But at the same time, it's like these other people who are harassing and feel openly okay with ridiculing people because it's freedom of speech, they need to stop doing that. It's not freedom of speech. You can't go out on the street and start calling each other names over a sign. Like, it's absolutely outrageous. So we gotta just tone it back and let people, do their thing. If you're not hurting anyone and you're not calling for action against people in a violent manner or anything, like, just let people do what they want to do and be polite. Like, it only takes 5 seconds to walk past somebody without telling them to go fuck themselves. It's not a big deal. So it's kind of why we're here. Just trying to calm everyone down, get our apology, see if it works. Believe in the progress. But we've been here for the 10 days, and the first week we were here, we had a different setup, and we got harassed because we had, like, Trudeau must go, Camp Freedom signs, and we kind of proved our point. Like, we even had MPs spitting at us. This week we had the apology sign and explaining, like, we're not racist or misogynistic. Didn't change our personalities. We never changed who we were, our behaviors. All we did was change our signs.
Do you know the guy who wrote the song and sang the song, Sign, Everywhere is Sign, is from Ottawa?
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I feel that. What we've learned about the other protesters is that everyone has their own style and everyone has their own reason for protesting the way they do because they feel like that's the way they're going to get the most impact. So we've been just sitting here being nice to people. If people come up to us, we take the opportunity to share our message. We're not spewing it out on the street. We're not screaming at people. We're not taking up space, ironically. We did actually look into all the bylaws and the Ottawa laws. We want to do everything legally. We had an issue with our sign. We fixed it, so we haven't caused any issues. Where other protesters, just like 2 or 3 days ago there, we had the environmental people glue themselves to the road down the street there. Just and they spray painted the MP's office there with pink, but it's just a different style, you know? Like they got their message out. They got a lot of attention down there in the half an hour that they were there doing their thing. I mean, they blocked traffic, media came out, all the paint stuff made the news. So, I mean, if that's your style, that's your style. We don't really agree with getting messaging across that way, but each their own. The freedom people are all screaming, yelling, doing their thing. That's their style, you know? We have all the LGBT people that showed up the other day just across the road. And as long as we're all respecting each other's space, like there was zero issues with them also. They were screaming, yelling, they had banners flying. It was actually really cool. It was like we could take some tips from them. They're really artistic. But yeah, like just noise, screaming. We don't think the screaming part will get the message across. We're going for a different approach in protesting. An older school approach, I guess some might say. But yeah, as long as other people aren't interfering with what we're doing and trying to cover up our message or taking over our messaging for their own personal goals and stuff, like everyone has the right to protest. Everyone can do whatever they want. Like, we advise that you follow the laws. You might be able to get out here longer for your message to get across, but high impact and everything too, short period of time with a lot of laws being broken, it also gets your message across. So it's just different styles for different people.
What have you come to learn about Canada and Canadians while you've been here for the last 10 days?
I think we miss something about Canada. Like everybody is missing like what Canada used to be. And nobody can really pinpoint what Canada used to be or what they miss about Canada. Like, or Canadians and the Canadian spirit and all this. And maybe it's just that niceness. Like, we always used to get made fun of, like, oh, you guys are the nicest ones on the country. You bump into a chair and you guys say sorry and everything. And we've kind of lost that touch. And in a way, I think most of us have it still. We kind of bring it out. If we initiate it, we usually get a positive, like, return. So it's not gone. Like, people aren't, like, all people aren't just ignoring us and being like, okay, whatever. But it's the initiating it. Like, no one's holding doors open. No one's saying, have a good day. And no one's, like, acknowledging each other's existence anymore. Everybody's very much in their own tunnel, in their own zone. And that's fine and all, but it means a lot to people just to acknowledge existence. Some people don't have anyone out there, right? Like, not even just homeless people. Like, there's people who look well off and they go home to a lonely house. And, you know, saying good morning and I hope you have a good day means a lot to them. You could be the only one that actually talks to them casually in that whole month. And it's something that we miss. I think it's something that we all have. I think that's what Canada was, or is what we're missing. And maybe we're all scared to, like, talk to each other because you're scared we're gonna get told to go fuck yourselves and stuff, but you shouldn't be like that.
Can you describe what your 10 days has been like in terms of just sitting here? And I understand, maybe you could just recap the fact that you've actually slept out here?
Yeah. 10 days, not straight, like we did the 5 and 5. We leave on weekends. We have to go and reset stuff up for New Week, New Sign is our slogan thing, so. We did stay on the 4th night, though, for the Coots 4, and 2 of the guys are out of jail now, which is fucking awesome. I mean, some people are like, oh, well, now they have all these gun charges. Yeah, but they're also not terrorists sitting in jail waiting for anything to happen. You know, something's happened. It's a win. Week 1 was more of, like, proving there's nothing scary here, as long as, like I said, I looked up the laws, I looked up what I could do, what I could get away with, so to speak, and yeah, I slept out here. I wanted to push it. I wanted to see what I can do, and I didn't have any issues. Bylaw hasn't come up to me once. Ottawa police came up to us once to just be like, "What are you guys doing?" Oh, all right, whatever. Left. DPS has been nothing but nice. Like we've had zero issues with them. So it was kind of a fact and proof to point of like you can come here and protest. I don't know why everyone is so scared. I don't know why everyone is like scared of the government or whatever. Like as long people who are scared of the government are clearly doing something wrong because they know they're gonna get in shit. Like if you're not doing anything, you should have nothing to be scared of. So that was a big thing for us was just to don't be scared of the police, don't be scared of them. I was, and then I came down and I was like, damn, we could sleep out here. That's great. Like with zero issues. We've had coffee delivered to us and stuff. Like it's been nothing but a great experience. It's exhausting experience. Week 2 has been more exhausting, but we were planning that. It's cold out here. The weather wears, the morale comes and goes, right? We don't really know. You kind of question what you're doing out here sometimes. You don't know if it's going to make a change. You don't know if you're going to get what you want. You don't even know if you're going to get a no. Like, the whole point is, like, we don't want to be called names and we don't want to be told, like, oh, you guys take up space, like, as if we're nothing. And then if this all ends with just being ignored, it's kind of kind of proves our point that maybe that is what you guys think. Hopefully not, though. But it's a mental fight, I guess. Being out here, it's learning though, learning a lot about the people you asked. But we've also learned a lot about the MPs. Like it's not fair that people are like, oh, they're doing 9 to 5s and their jobs are so easy and like I don't know, just the way that people and civilian like we need to stop as people saying that stuff about our government workers. Like once you go in and you start looking at what they're doing and what they're talking about on the daily, you realize like, oh no, they are concerned about the housing crisis and they are really trying to scrap the tax. And they have voted 153 something times to try to kick Trudeau out. But nobody knows this because no one is getting educated. And then they come down here and they yell at the office clerks and fucking code check people and they yell at people who are on our side when we should all be working together. So it's frustrating and like I mean I'm guilty of it. I learned a lot. My whole opinion changed of these people, you know, like they work extremely hard, they work extremely long hours. These people do not have a personal life and they are trying to better Canada. So that's one really important thing that we all need to fucking get our asses out of our head and realize these people are doing their job and they are working for us. They're doing the best they can. There's a system in place, it's there for a reason and it takes time unfortunately, but patience and determination and stuff will get the goals and what we need for Canada done. Like, just got to put our trust into it, you know, and we got to stay on top of it. We can't just let them run around. We got to be watching and make sure they know, like, yo, we're not stupid. Like, we know what you're doing. We know who you are. We know you're trying. But this is still a problem. Like,